Ever since humanity first looked up at the sky, a silent desire was born. To overcome distance, to challenge the impossible, to turn the unknown into a path. In the early 20th century, that desire grew wings, and few names symbolize this impulse as powerfully as Amelia Earhart. She was not just an aviator. She became a symbol of courage, innovation, and freedom. But she also became an enigma. A disappearance that has crossed decades, raised unsettling questions, and left a silence that still echoes today. This is not just the story of a lost pilot. It's an investigation into one of the most enduring conspiracies of modern history. What really happened to Amelia Earhart? Between the 1920s and 1930s, the world was experiencing a silent revolution. Aircraft, once seen as experimental curiosities, were rapidly becoming instruments of exploration, communication, and national power. This was the Golden Age of Aviation, a time when pilots were modern heroes, braving vast distances with incomplete maps, limited instruments, and a courage that bordered on the poetic. The sky was the new frontier, a blank canvas for human ambition. In this climate of innovation and daredevilry, a new kind of celebrity was born. Fame earned not on the ground but thousands of feet above it. It was a time of breaking records, pushing boundaries, and proving that humanity's reach could extend beyond the horizon. And no one embodied this spirit more completely than the woman who would soon captivate the world. Amelia Earhart emerged as an unlikely yet unstoppable force. In an era when aviation was overwhelmingly dominated by men, she shattered cultural barriers with a quiet determination, sharp intelligence, and an undeniable charisma. She wasn't just flying planes. She was challenging the status quo. Each flight she undertook was more than a technical achievement. It was a silent, powerful declaration that the limits imposed by society were meant to be overcome. Her grace and composure in the cockpit became a mirror for her approach to life, poised and always looking forward. She wasn't just seeking records or accolades. She was seeking new horizons, both in the sky and for generations of women to come. Solo crossings, oceans conquered, unprecedented routes. With each new achievement, Amelia's fame soared. She became more than a celebrated pilot. She was a global symbol of progress, a living embodiment of the future in motion. Her image was everywhere, confident, serene, and profoundly determined. She represented the fusion of human courage and technological advancement. But behind the public persona was an explorer with an insatiable appetite for the next great challenge. Her flights weren't just about getting from point A to point B. They were about pushing the very limits of what was thought possible, proving that the spirit of adventure was alive and well in the modern age. In 1937, Amelia decided to face the greatest challenge of her career, a journey to circumnavigate the globe, following a perilous route close to the equator. At nearly 29,000 miles, it was the longest and most ambitious flight ever attempted. The aircraft, a state-of-the-art Lockheed Electra 10E, was outfitted with extra fuel tanks. But the journey remained an incredibly complex and risky endeavor. The route crossed vast, desolate stretches of the Pacific Ocean, where navigation was treacherous and rescue was nearly impossible. But for a soul driven by the unknown, for a spirit that thrived on pushing boundaries, this monumental challenge seemed not just logical, but inevitable. It was to be her final, crowning achievement. The world watched as Amelia and her navigator, Fred Noonan, embarked on their epic journey. Leg after leg, they succeeded. But as they began one of the most delicate stages, a 2,556-mile flight from Lae, New Guinea, to the tiny, remote Howland Island, communications grew unstable. Radio transmissions became fragmented, filled with static. Then, an unsettling silence. The aircraft, with its two pioneering occupants, never reached its destination. They vanished somewhere over the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Pacific Ocean. And in that moment of silence, the legend of Amelia Earhart transformed into one of the greatest, most debated mysteries of modern history. The adventurer had become an enigma. Immediately, one of the largest and most expensive search and rescue operations in naval history was launched. The U.S. government mobilized ships and aircraft, scouring over 250,000 square miles of ocean. But despite the massive effort, not a single piece of definitive wreckage was ever found. The official conclusion was that the Electra had run out of fuel and crashed into the sea. But as years turned into decades, this simple explanation began to feel incomplete. The lack of evidence was baffling. Questions began to multiply, and the official silence on certain details only fueled suspicion. Was it truly just a tragic accident, or was there more to the story that authorities weren't telling? With no official answers, unofficial theories began to fill the void. Some hypotheses suggest they drifted off course and crash-landed on an uninhabited island, living out their days as castaways. But more compelling, and far more sinister, are the theories that link her disappearance to the geopolitical chessboard of the 1930s. The Pacific was a hotbed of rising tensions between the United States and the Empire of Japan. Some researchers allege that Amelia's flight was a cover for a covert espionage mission to photograph Japanese military installations. Was she captured and executed as a spy? Or did she secretly complete her mission and live out her life under a new identity, protected by the US government? None of these claims have ever been officially confirmed, but the persistent institutional silence and a trail of declassified documents with curious redactions only deepens the fascination and lends credibility to the idea of a cover-up. More than answers, the case of Amelia Earhart left us with profound questions about exploration, sacrifice, and the secrets that governments keep. Her disappearance ensures that her story transcends a simple historical account. It has become a modern myth, a puzzle that invites each new generation to look for clues and draw their own conclusions. Perhaps that is precisely what keeps her legacy so vibrant. The idea that not every mystery needs a definitive resolution to continue inspiring us. Her story is a testament to the power of the unknown, reminding us that the journey is often more important than the destination. The ambiguity is part of her eternal appeal. In the end, Amelia Earhart belongs not only to the history of aviation, she belongs to the human imagination. She represents the unquenchable desire to explore, the courage to face the void, and the haunting beauty of a question left unanswered. As long as there is a sky above us, there will be questions about what lies beyond our sight. And as long as there are questions, there will be explorers, inspired by her spirit, ready to chase the horizon. If you enjoy stories that combine adventure, mystery, and historical reflection, please like this video and share it with those who love in-depth documentaries. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the great enigmas of humanity with us. The next mystery may be closer than you think. Thanks for watching.